Alright, this is Matt, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to try to box in this fridge. This is on the outside of the apartment kitchen here. It's been this way for years. So I just walked up a big flight of steps and ran up here, so I'm breathing heavy. I just want to box it in with some 3/4, cabinet grade plywood, see how it looks in the end. Unfortunately, this is an apartment fridge, sorry. And they require larger clearances on the outside compared to fridges that are kind of meant to be built in. So there's going to be spaces around it for ventilation, but that's what we'll be working on today. Got the plywood this morning, I got a table saw, and so start adding on sheets of plywood up the side, around, and the back side, and see how it looks in the end. So that's what we're working on today. I'm not going to videotape every single step, just kind of give you statuses here and there and show you what I did and talk you through that. The fridge is out of the way now. I had to do these custom furring strips. They actually vary in thickness from the front to the back because that countertop wasn't plumbed as far as overhang there. So since this plywood that I already cut, it's going to go right there. I had a thickness correct where it was holding it up level, and it wasn't going to leave a gap once I buttoned up here against the top of that countertop there. So there it is, no gap there. I'm going to put a piece of trim in the front to close that, as well as a piece of trim in the back there when I span between this board and the backer, the next board that goes over. So I think this is the first one to go up. I'm going to attach this thing here, custom cut out for the electrical outlet down there, and then we'll go from there. So if we get the first one up, hopefully it's right, and then we can move on from there. Okay, so that piece is attached. Again, furring strips behind here, attached from the inside of that cabinet, and then these attached through there. Now we're going to start the back piece. I just topped it and ripped it. What a pain in the neck ripping that was on myself. I'm not a very good table saw. Hopefully I don't get hurt doing this. I need something down there to hold it up. Hopefully it's going to come off like that. Not the prettiest thing. Let me see. I don't like it, but the blade isn't the cut. Give it a go. Of course, now the trailer hits. You gotta kidding me. I'll finish that with a circular saw. That wasn't fun. So the cut wasn't too bad. Finish it right off here with circular saw. Oh, I know that I'm topping off. I gotta chop off the top here anyway, so. Woo! A bigger table with two guys definitely made it a lot easier. Sorry if you watched that in horror. It's not fun. And then I have to make this notch cut right here. Then I gotta make it narrower to follow the outside of this board here. So I'll have to mark this height, and then, make another rip right here, then it'll come down and then go to the full width below where that countertop is. So, bit of custom jig work here. That'll be what's going on next. Okay. Back wall's semi-permanently attached. Also, it's a little shaky up here because I got to put the side on and the top will kind of lock everything together. I'll also attach a cleat like that on the side as well. Try not to put too many holes in from the outside. I put in one, little finishing nail there, but I'm gonna have a piece of trim that goes over top of this anyway, so you're not gonna see that. I just didn't want to put, and this is not a nail right there. I don't know what that is, a little knot. There's no nails here. So, get the other side ripped to about 23 inches, and then attach that to the forward face inside here, just like that one is over there. It's not perfect. Hopefully this looks okay in the end, because it was going to be about almost $200 in materials. I forgot I had a camera to record with, so I got up the sides. Little blocks in there. Ignore that daylight. You see through there. Top on, I'm going to have to sand the outside. I'm not sure if I'm going to put the edge trim on here or not. We'll see how sporty I'm feeling. And definitely baseboard trim that'll wrap around there and fade into the corner. And I have to do the fascia trim. I got 1x3, I think. So I'll leave it overhang like 1/8 of an inch on the outside and like a bit on the inside. Put in a block in the back to keep the fridge, the clearance appropriate for the back side there, so it can breathe and cool off. Still got to figure out what I'm going to do down here between this little gap. I'm not sure what I'm going to do down there. I'll worry about that later with some fine woodworking skills that I don't have. So, all right, stay tuned. Alrighty, not fully trimmed out yet. I didn't do the baseboard trim, or I didn't do the edge tape here yet. I'll get to that. Baseboard down here to meet over with that. Piece of trim to cover that joint there. But I did finish front trim. Again, if this fridge did not require clearance all around, I would have made it much, much tighter. But they required that. So this piece of trim here is kind of a fun one to cut around that. But it worked out okay. I'd say it looks pretty good. Now the fridge has a home. It's locked in with kind of cleats. Can't quite see back there. So you slide it back in and it'll roll a little self-center and fit in there at the right distance. So it's not going anywhere like it was before, kind of just floated around. And then you got some more storage space on top to put your junk. All right, maybe I'll take some finished photos when I actually get the trim on the bottom. But as far as video, this most likely will be it for this particular video. All right, one step closer. Trim across that gap there. Added one more feature board there just because I had the board laying around. Finished the baseboard. Ties with a 45 there so you don't stub your toe. Mind your corners. Nothing new over here. So anyway, I'll get around to edge wrapping those edges of the plywood and I'll sand it down. Give it a clear coat of water-based poly or two, and hopefully it sort of matches with that eventually. All right. Okay, now for real, I'm done except for sanding and staining. This little thing had a bubble in it. Let's see if from that angle. Try to heat that up and put it back down. I'm not sure we'll rip that one off, but put the binding on there and then do a quick sand and then just put a clear coat on it. But this stuff also came over here. Well, I never claimed to be professional, but there it is. Clearance around the fridge is required from the manufacturer. At the bottom, oops, trim back over there. It all came together pretty good, and you still have a decent view of the living room from cooking in the kitchen. So, alrighty. Well, thanks for watching. That'll be it for this video. You don't need to watch me screw up my staining job or sanding at all, but that kind of is a bummer right there. That's obvious. It's not something I can hide, so see about that. Alright, thanks for watching this installment of how to hide your fridge next to a kitchen that's not against a wall. It's kind of sitting out there in no man's land. So, alright, take care. Have a good one.